Hey Zach, just wanted to wish you and your family a happy holiday season. A lot of people around the world, myself included, are really looking forward to seeing Army of the Dead and Zack Snyder's Justice League next year. So, bring them on.
Hey Zach, thanks for your DC movies. I hope to see much more of it. To release the Snyder Cut campaign, that we never gave up and reached the desired goal. Thanks for all, guys. Thanks for all, Zach.
Zack, your characters are an inspiration. You're great, man. We love you and we'll be with you till the end of the line.
Hey Zach, thank you for your creative vision, thank you for your work, and most of all, thank you for fighting for that vision with class and positivity and integrity.
Hi Zach and Deborah, this is Craig. Just to say thank you for all your films, and we're really looking forward to Zack Snyder's Justice League. And a special thank you to the Release the Snyder Cut movement. It's been a pleasure getting to know all of you.
Hey Zach, and everyone in the Release the Snyder Cut community from Ireland. I'm so proud of what we managed to achieve for artistic integrity, for suicide prevention, and to actually get this movie out next year. Big celebration. Shout out to the boys, you know who you are. Peace out.
What is happening, film friends, Zack Snyder fans? What is happening out there? Oh, what a day. What a day. We are here. We are here, and we're wearing special hats because, well, it's a special day. What's going on, Mr. Chris Wong Swinson? How you doing, sir?
Good. Happy holidays. Deck the Hall of Justice.
That's right. Deck the Hall of Justice. And guess what, guys? You know, it is the Christmas season, so I have like a little bit of a drop that just represents of how this show is going to go.
And we're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye.
That's right. From one of the best, or if not the best, arguably, I think it's my favorite Christmas movie right there. But yeah, from Christmas Vacation. Oh, man. Quite a day, man. Quite a day. Have you been watching? Have you been keeping up with everything that was happening today?
A lot. And it's been fun. I love everybody's energy. I love how much we've donated. Man, crazy.
Yeah, guys.
About 500,000? Wow.
Yeah, we reached the mark. If you guys didn't see during the League of Mayhem live stream, apparently we reached our goal. We reached our goal of $500,000, and it was great because not only did we reach the goal, of course, but we reached the goal live, and when Snyder was actually on their live stream. That's what's so crazy about it. I mean, and what's great about it too is Snyder's been making the rounds, popping in. I mean, yeah, he might have announced that he was on here, but I'm actually glad that he was like making the rounds and just jumping on random live streams. He didn't know where he was going to go. I love the
so happy. Got to international.
Yes,
I mean,
the international
reviews. That's awesome. You got to see some of that Spanish community over there.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of fans on that side too.
Exactly. So I mean, that's what I was enjoying too. I was like, oh wow, he's making the rounds in the international. I'm like, good. That's what he should do, because I mean, he's given us love. He's given us some love already. It's like just got to spread the love a little bit. I mean, that's what it's definitely all about. And I don't know what you're drinking today, sir, but I got me some Bullet bourbon for this occasion.
I got apparently it's expensive. Pinch.
Yeah. That's I mean, if that worked, hey, whatever works for you.
My mother-in-law said it's a $400 bottle.
It's a $400 bottle? Holy Lord. Man. How's it taste?
It's got that barbecue smoky flavor. But it's good. It's got to say it's good. Like, I don't know the difference between a $20 and a $400 bottle.
Yeah, I think a lot of people I've always wondered that myself, like especially when it comes to like wine connoisseurs and everything. It's like, how do you know when they do that whole thing, they sniff it, you know, they do the whole sniffy thing and they like take a sip and everything. It's like, how do you decide whether, you know, it's an expensive wine or it's just like a $7 bottle wine, you know, like what's the actual difference? I mean, I think, to be honest, when it comes to a lot of this stuff, it might not be, you know, as expensive as it should be. But then again, what do I know? But cheers, bud. Cheers. Cheers to you, and cheers to Deck the Halls and Christmas and all that stuff.
Cheers to everyone here.
Cheers to everyone here. But yeah, I didn't really catch fully Ray Fisher stuff. But I heard that he was having fun with
Yeah,
Point Extra Lounge.
stuff. I mean, he talked about, what did he confirm? He confirmed there's a forearm cyborg.
Of course, yeah.
Awesome. And other things as well.
Yeah. And then also, guys, I mean, I appreciate it, Jay, for the donation, but please, there's a pin link. And of course, the first link down below, that is where you want to donate to the Adam Snyder Foundation for AFSP. So if you haven't donated yet, or you feel like donating again, please do so. It is right there. Like I said, I appreciate the donations, but let's direct the donations to that link instead. So, but yeah, thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. So, but anyways, yeah. So yeah, no, I remember there was one part of the chat that specifically I was like, when he talked about a certain someone, and he was saying that about Age of Ultron. Did you hear about that one? Did you hear when he talked about it?
A little bit.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I think you got a clip for that.
Yeah, there was like a clip somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like a clip where that was floating around out there. That was where he was actually talking about how, when it came to the reshoots, that certain director was like going, yeah, well, they didn't understand that movie, but whatever. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that because we're going to talk about the celebration of what has happened today. We're going to bask in the glory of a certain individual who is just, awesome. And if it wasn't for this man, we wouldn't be here. So here we go. Mr. Zack Snyder, what is up, sir?
Hey, guys.
Hey, happy holidays, Zach.
Happy holidays to you.
How's it going? Santa Snyder. Yeah. Cheers, man. I don't know if you have a nice warm beverage to warm up. He's pouring something, guys.
I mean, I got to work, so it's water.
Okay. Well, cheers anyways.
Promise.
Yeah. Yeah, what is okay? I gotta ask you. Do you have your own bourbon?
Oh yeah, my bourbon.
Oh man. So you do have a bourbon.
Ooh.
Look at that. Hand on.
That must taste.
Oh. Epic. That looks awesome.
Nice.
I'm sure it tastes crispy and just look at that.
Wow.
There it is. And then you got the Stone Quarry logo right there. It's awesome.
So that's like a bottle for every Zack Snyder's Justice League ticket.
It's a very limited run this time.
Limited run.
We'll see.
When did you?
Sure, there'll be more, but it was kind of a fun thing that we did.
Yeah. When did that bourbon come to be?
It was an idea I had a while ago, maybe at the beginning of last year, and it's just taken a while we have this Doc Swenson's, which was this amazing bourbon that partnered with us to do it, because in order to do bourbon you have to have had the idea 15 years ago,
pretty much, right? You have to age it. In barrel.
That's 15-year-old bourbon, so made in Kentucky, aged in barrels in Kentucky. It's like legit. So anyway,
I'm telling you,
they were gracious enough to give us their juice. And so it was real good.
I'm telling you, you should put a little quote on there that says "No bourbon." I'm just saying. I mean,
ad campaign. If there would be an ad campaign, but I don't know.
Right. Anyways, so today's been pretty special, Zach. I mean, my God, it has been. I mean, obviously, you see the schedule behind me. You had all those streams, and then the international ones, and I love the fact that you were popping in and out. People weren't knowing where. Never knew where you're going to be. I mean,
I'm sure I was getting pretty annoying.
No,
I don't think so. I think people were pretty excited when you showed up.
Well, that's good. That's good. I don't say.
But I think the big thing was the fact that when you were on the League of Mayhem live stream is it was let it be known that we actually crossed 500K when it came to all of this, which. Good job, everybody. This is what it's all about right there. Yeah,
I wrote it down right here.
See, wrote it down right there. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
315.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's today? Wait, what's today? It's
the 20th.
20th. 12/20.
20th.
20. Wow, that's a great. number. 12, 20, 20, 20, 20.
12,
It
20,
is.
20, 20.
20. It's a lot of
Yeah.
20s in there. Yeah. But I know that was that's what it was all about. Try to cross that finish line right there. But like I said, we're continuing on. There's still, you know,
I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be prouder of this
Yeah.
fandom and what you guys have done. And it's a miracle.
It really is. And it happened around Christmas, especially with everything that's happening right now with the pandemic and, you know, with everybody might have to not see each other. It's really great that this milestone was achieved, and especially with this fandom. I mean, talk about a long time coming, man. I tell you.
Absolutely. Insane.
So right now, so what are you currently working on right now?
Currently working on I'm doing a little bit of, I was telling, we were talking earlier because I was popping in and out because I was actually working. So
yeah,
Dodie was, we have editorials upstairs.
Okay.
And so I would have to run up there because we're trying to lock these reels for the mix because we're mixing right now, like tomorrow. I think we're doing hour 3 and then I think later in the week we're supposed to do lock 4. So, but because the way it works is that we're getting, the visual effect shots just keep coming in like a mile a minute. I think it's like I forget the number, but it was I think it's almost I want to say 2,700 visual effect shots. So that we've done just exclusively for this, and I think what we determined was that 80, Tamara said, who's our visual effects producer, that 80, I'd have to look at her sheet, but it's 80+% are shots that no one's ever seen, right? 86% of were never seen in any way. And then 100% of the shots are different from in format or whatever than what was in the theatrical. So it's pretty.
No, we don't talk about that. Don't worry.
I'm just.
I'm just saying. We're fine with it.
I'm just going by the stats.
Okay. For sure.
Without judgment, just stats. Yeah. I'm relying on the science.
That's it. Hey, that's what it's all about. Especially right now, it's all about relying on the science, right? Yeah, all the science. But currently, right now, there is a little movie that's coming out on Christmas Day that you were with, and I think we should do a little talking about that because, I mean, before we see Wonder Woman in your movie, we're going to see her in a different movie where she's going to be kicking all kinds of ass. And I take it you've seen it. How many times have you seen it? How great is it?
It's. By the way, it's super enjoyable. I love it, and it's really, for me, just as a producer and as someone who's been involved with this for some time now, as they'd say, it's really cool to see it, evolve and grow and turn into its own thing. And I really couldn't be happier for Colin and Patty to just create this world, and it's really fun.
I see that there's the Stone Quarry Productions in there. How involved were you on that?
I mean, listen, we are here's my thing with especially with someone like Patty, who we have massive faith in and really had a great experience with on the other Wonder Woman movie. It was really just, I think at this point we were just like, do your thing. So, I mean, of course we were there, when needed, if asked, and we, to see rough cuts or whatever. But it's really been just a pleasure, working with her and seeing this through. It's really been like I say, I feel like they got on a track and they've just gone and they've really done it, and it's been fun. And for me, it's like I would want to treat another filmmaker the way I would want to be treated. So, it really, the whole idea was as best I could to, just support whatever she wanted to do.
Now, do you have a little cameo in the background like you did in the first one?
No, I have no cameo.
Oh man! So you're not standing in the background in a Miami Vice suit with your sleeves rolled up and like the 80s.
You look like the 80s.
That would have been awesome. Super cool. Yeah, no.
No, sadly not. Okay, because that was what was awesome about the first one is like a lot of people, even like now, I think, forgot what live stream I was a part of or something like that, where I think it was when a couple of vodka streams ago, a couple guys who are, fans of your movies too, but not like big like we are, didn't realize that you had a cameo in the first Wonder Woman. And they were blown away that when they saw the image of you with the musket, with your foot up, and it was just looking all badass. I'm like, hey,
that was a machine gun, but that's fine.
Oh,
Musket fine.
Sorry, whatever. Yeah, see, it shows what I know.
No, just small difference. That's cool. Go ahead, keep going.
But yeah, they were like, they totally didn't know that, and then they were just baffled. Like I remember seeing their tweet like the next day, like, holy shit, he was behind there. Look at him, So they were pretty impressed by that, which is always what's great when filmmakers can kind of come together and do something like that. And I mean, obviously, on the vodka stream on Friday, I had Connie Nielsen on. Of course, you knew that because you popped in to announce that you were going to be showing up today. And I don't know if you watched the interview, but man, I mean, talk about a treat. Connie Nielsen is a treat.
She's amazing.
She's totally amazing.
She's
totally amazing. Yeah.
And we have she does a lot of awesome stuff in Justice League. A lot of action that she told me that when we had shot it, and she had seen the theatrical, and she was like, "Look, none of that's in there." And I was like, "What? Why would they not put that in there?" Well, don't worry, it's in this, so you'll see.
It was good. Yeah, I know. Talking to her about that, it was she was just had nothing but great things to say about you. And if it's okay, I'd actually like to show her message that she had for you and for AFSP, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring up Connie Nielsen again. Let's bring on those waterworks people in the chat.
Zach, I adore you. You are so brave and such a beautiful person. And to you and your partner and your amazing family, just my heart goes out to you. And I am so incredibly impressed by your bravery. This is so hard to survive, and you guys are doing incredibly well. I also so appreciate that you and your family are working so hard to support other families who go through this horrible loss. And I want to also say to everyone who is out there to support any and all charities that support young and, people of any age who are finding it hard to live with the pressures occurring in their lives right now and finding it hard to talk about it. And I want to say the more you talk about what you're feeling, the more you can get the support that you deserve and that you need. There's not just one way out of this. There are more ways. And I know that Zach and his family are working on making sure that when people are at their most desperate, that they remember that there is life after this moment of deep despair, and that there is support and love out there, even when it feels like there's nothing left. Death is not the only answer to this. And I know that there are people who do this much better than me. And I would like everybody to support the work of Zach, his family, and AFSP.
Oh my God. She's so great.
I don't know if there is anyone better.
I know, right? I mean, what's funny about that was like we recorded that interview earlier that day because she's 9 hours ahead in Denmark. So when we scheduled it, I was like, all right, well, I could record it earlier. It's perfectly fine. I could run it during the stream that night. And then I just right before we started recording, I said, hey, we're doing this thing on Sunday. Could you give a message to Zach and to people to donate and everything? And she was like, oh yeah, perfectly. And then right in the middle of the interview, she goes, hey, this would be a good time to do it. I was like, the floor is yours, thinking it was going to be something quick. And that came out. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez, my heart. You just needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so crushing. That is amazing.
Yeah, she's so great. And I hear that, and I meant to ask her this. I hear that you kind of had a hand in getting her cast by Patty, right?
Well, yeah, no, we had a long. I was really a big and strong advocate of her being in the movie, and Patty loved her too, of course. But I was really, I was like, come on, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember she said that in like a previous interview where it was like, this is your Hippolyta right here. This is her. And Patty had to like meet up with her. And then after like one lunch, it was just, perfect. And it's like, yeah, I mean, when you look at her work that she's done, and we talked a little bit about that in the interview. I mean, obviously everybody goes to Gladiator, which she was phenomenal in, and that's a phenomenal movie. But I mean, there's movies that I was like, oh, what about 1 Hour Photo? What about Basic with John Travolta and all that? I'm like, you were awesome in that. And I mean, so many pieces of a film that she's been a part of that were just absolutely fantastic. So the fact that she's in Wonder Woman, and of course back for Wonder Woman 84, I can't wait to see.
It's a great scene. She's great in the movie, of course.
Yeah,
it's a really cool scene. I won't spoil it. It's right at the beginning. It's like my favorite scene in the movie, but it is really just really a great scene with young Diana.
Yeah,
and I think you've seen probably some of in the promotional shots.
Yeah, when they had that
virtual on in IMAX, and it's really.
Yeah, when they had that virtual event, they showed the beginning of Wonder Woman, which starts off basically during you go to that arena. And you got little Diana going up against these grown Amazonians already. And I'm like, if that's not badass, I mean, come on. I mean,
isn't it awesome that you cast Wonder Woman? Like Gal Gadot now is like the iconic Wonder Woman of this generation. Like for people who think like it's Christopher Reeves, that Superman, that generation. Now everybody's like, that's Wonder Woman. That must feel amazing just to be the ones that have done that.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's amazing. It wasn't like I did anything. She just showed up and was awesome. And all I had to do is go like, I acknowledge that is awesome. It's not that hard, like it's like if you're in a hurricane, you say like I'm in a hurricane. You don't have to
right.
Makes sense. It does make sense. No, but I remember when there was like casting rumors, which there always is, and then she was announced, and I remember seeing that I think it was the first image we saw of her. I think it was 2014 Comic-Con, I want to say, where she's just standing there looking badass with her shield and sword.
Yeah.
And I mean, any of the disbelievers out there were like choking on their words. Like, well, I mean, that's her. I mean, there's beauty. You see a warrior right there. You see strength. Yeah, you saw it all embodied in that picture. And I know, but was that like a help from Clay Enos? Did he help with that first?
Yeah, of course. He took the photo.
Yeah,
but it was a it was a virtual background.
Yeah,
we shot it on the same day that we were doing. I'm pretty positive we shot it on the same day that we were doing the bringing Jesus coming down from the cross, or I mean. Superman coming down.
Same guy.
Superman coming down from that's where we took the pose from. Sorry.
Yeah, we figured that.
Sorry. So anyway, it was that day, and there was a big like slab of like broken kind of concrete.
Yeah.
And so we put her on it, and we took that picture. It was a green screen, and then we comped in that kind of like sparky, kind of moody background, and I was like, yeah, that's good. That's going to be great. Oh. That was the same day actually too that I shot that on my phone. I shot that picture of Henry because he had his hood on, and we made the lightsaber. We made the Sith Lord Superman.
Speaking of Star Wars, I mean, Patty, she got the Star Wars gig. I mean, how awesome!
Pretty sweet.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, when that was announced, and the way that she announced it too, I mean, when she had that video where she's rollerblading, and then all of a sudden she just puts on like an X-wing like jumpsuit and the helmet and everything, and just heads right toward it. I'm like, perfect way to announce that, and I'm sure you were like all kinds of happy for her.
Yeah, that was like, okay, that's gonna be cool. Yeah,
so good,
pretty fun.
Yeah, so good. And then I'll say, when it comes to Wonder Woman 84, a lot of people were wondering too, when it comes to this Wonder Woman, now she has the lasso, and the lasso is just pretty much her weapon of choice when it comes to this era, and not the shield and sword. Were you there when they were trying to figure out like, what should we do when it comes to what she's going to be wielding? Should we just get rid of, she's not facing any gods. She's just facing human beings that are just kind of being assholes. So let me just get the lasso, and we'll just do some cool shit with that. Were you like in any part of those discussions when it came to?
No, I was. I mean, when I felt like it was an amazing choice, and it's certainly within her like repertoire of weapons, and classically, her what I would consider like her main kind of instrument, along with her ting ting ting. But I think that the lasso is amazing. Like I'm a huge fan of her use of the lasso in the movie. I think it's cool.
God, when she like that shot in the first trailer where she was literally riding the lightning, I was like, everybody was just like blown away by like, okay, yeah, that's something you could do with a magic lasso right there. I think the
lasso is pretty powerful. It technically is indestructible, and it's I don't know. We have a lot of lasso. Lore, take a deep dive on the lasso is pretty insane.
Yeah.
When you and Patty were discussing, was there a time where like we have to do some way to get it to BVS, like that connect? Was that any?
I think of course she knew that was the journey, but we didn't really talk about, and I really didn't want to hold her to like some kind of I think she knew kind of where she had to go, and I don't think that was anything that she, was like trying to navigate. I think she just sort of set her course and like, let it roll. And
well,
again, I just don't feel like, it's weird too, because I think what you don't realize is that, Justice League, technically is, came out before this movie, right?
True.
And so, but it'll come out after this movie. So it's like it's a strange chronology in a lot of ways. I believe that this sort of multiverse concept is much more in play than say this linear storyline. I think it's all very consistent within my films, but I do think this kind of multiverse is, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing. It allows, and Patty, again, being incredibly respectful and deferential to like what I was trying to do, but at the same time, not 100% restricted by the details of the world. So she could, play in the sandbox and tell the best story she could, which is, I think, exactly what she did.
Yeah,
it's cool that Patty was like, and all of the DC directors tossed that other Justice League out. I'm like, yes. So we got to put something actual Justice League back in, right?
That's fun. Yeah, that was cool to see. I read that and was like, oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah, she's just like, I'm not gonna hold back now. Yeah, we just just like the fans, we're like, we're not about that. This is our own thing. But like you even said before too, I think you said it the last time I talked to you was, each filmmaker is like kind of like the different authors of each comic book. You're doing your own version, your own style. You could pick up something from Scott Snyder. You could pick up something. There's multiple. Authors out there and illustrators that draw things differently, that talk about a story differently. That's what's so great about the comic book sphere is you can do that. You're able to do that. You got the multiverse that you can always tap into as well, which I think, it seems like Warner Media and everybody is just kind of going like, yep, this is where we're going. If you didn't notice yet, we're going to start tapping into that. So it's
frankly, I just love that they've decided to kind of just embrace their personality and do it their way. You know what I mean? I think that, there was always this sort of criticism or sort of the middle step. What's the middle step? Trying to be like Marvel, trying to do your own thing. Like, what is it going to do? But I think now it's kind of locked into a very specific kind of trajectory where I think, and I hope the idea is like, it's filmmaker first, and then, which is basically what the multiverse allows for. So a filmmaker first, and then here's the characters, bringing the characters together. So I think
when Ezra Miller showed up on the CW Flash, all of us were like, oh man, it's happening. It's happening. I mean, they're crossing over on the show. We have movie Flash and we have TV Flash face to face, and they're talking. And Jim Lee has talked about like how that was almost like a last minute thing, but it was like something they wanted to do. Were you like at all part of that, or did you know?
No. But I think it's more symbolic, frankly. I mean, I think if and when they do the Flashpoint movie, I think that concept to me is like, I take it that way anyway, as this symbolic sort of acknowledgement that the worlds, it acknowledged that they're separate worlds. That's what I feel like it does. Yeah. Because like, oh no, on this track, you can love this Flash or you can love that Flash, and you don't need to fight about it. You know, it allows them to exist at the same time. And I think that was like, to me, as a sort of, you know, it symbolizes a sort of a way to say like, it's okay. We're going to like have this world where there's all these storylines going at the same time. And I always thought that was DC's strength. Frankly, I was like, look at you guys have, you know, the cartoons, you have the TV shows, and those things were always happening at the same time. I mean, even when I was doing Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman, those and Justice League, there were, you know, DC animated films that had nothing to do with what we were doing, and there was DC TV shows that had nothing to do with what we're doing, and that there was no way to seam those up without this, and also without alienating a giant fandom by saying like, oh, your Flash doesn't count, right? Mm-hmm. Or your animated show doesn't mean anything. Like those things, I think that, you know, frankly, Marvel has been they built it over a long period of time. So by the time they got to their later movies, everything had kind of locked in. It was kind of all moving in the same direction. But that was just never going to happen because the DC TV shows were so popular and because their animated films were so popular. I mean, that was a success that they had. And so the you know, and Chris's movies sort of had another like tone and other universe. So there was no way that those things were gonna, you know, we're gonna ever like, okay, we're gonna say those things don't exist now and it's this. And I think there was that thinking for a while, but I'm glad that it kind of settled into you know, much more sort of diverse, you know, and I would say at this point, I mean, for me, you know, I think that Justice League is a slightly elsewhere.
Probably a little bit.
You know, just because, you know, with this version of Justice League, you know, I don't 100%. I kind of just do my own thing, you know, a lot more than I did in the. I mean, Batman versus Superman was certainly, I didn't really have any, you know, it was the only thing that I considered was the photograph that I knew was going to be in Patty's movie.
Right.
I had to we shot that and I took it and I put it in my movie and in her movie. Right. So those things worked out pretty nicely. But other than that, I was like, look, I'm going to give you an Aquaman. I'll give you a Flash. Do with them as you please, you know? And I'm going to use them in Justice League, but whatever filmmakers, you know, come along, James Wan, whatever, I want you to just go and go nuts and have
wild. And they did.
Yeah, they did.
It's been great. It's been great. I mean, we're both. I'm seeing Wonder Woman 84 on Tuesday, which is awesome. So I get to finally see that. I mean, after that first trailer, I tell you what. I mean, I think all of us were just, you know, we're kind of wondering where they're going to take this with the 80s. And as soon as that first trailer hit, I mean, it was just like, okay, they have the specific tone that they're going for. It's got that old 80s. I mean, I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up with, you know, your Indiana Joneses, you know, your Donner Supermans. And it seems like Patty has done a very good job at, you know, hey, we had London in fucking World War I or whatever, you know, that was totally dull and, you know, gross and everything, and they captured that great. And then all of a sudden when it comes to this, it's like, oh, now we're in the 80s, it's a little brighter, it's a little like let's capture that essence of the 80s. And it seems like she absolutely fucking nailed it.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's also like a really great message and a really great movie for like right now. It's like a really optimistic and I would say, reassuring film for this kind of time we're in right now. And I think it's really important. Like we need it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I keep hearing too. One thing I actually wanted to ask you too about, going back to BBS. I mean, and then you talked about the Flashpoint movie. Did you have it in your head when you cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne that, hey, eventually this guy could play a Flashpoint version of Batman? Was that ever a thought?
Listen, I'm going to say, I'll be honest, I don't think it was.
Okay.
Although I will say that I love Jeffrey Dean. And I cast him because I liked the idea that Thomas Wayne was like a bit of a tough guy, like not a pushover, right? And kind of maybe it's part of the reason, I think that I like also the duality of that might have been the reason why they got shot, was that he didn't give his wallet right away. Like he tried to fight back a little bit, which I think also is like a thing that has haunted Bruce in some ways. Like, cause like I did that shot where, Jeffrey Dean makes the fist, right? Mm-hmm. And it looks like he's going to try and punch him, that's right in front of the kid. And I thought that was like a pretty, that's like a pivotal sort of moment for Bruce, how do you confront violence that's like completely, life altering and unfeeling and merciless, like you have to sort of become that yourself a little bit. So it's kind of anyway, not to go on a tangent, but,
for sure.
But yeah, no, but when I did hear about that, I was like, oh, that seems like an easy.
He's perfect. I mean, you had him as a comedian, so.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, clearly he could do the work. Like that's not a problem. But I don't think they're doing it, but it could be.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they're doing it. I mean, I think I think we talked about one of the other times I was talking to you was like when it was announced that Ben was coming back for the Flashpoint movie. It was like what, and you had no idea about it, and I'm sure maybe there were some discussions that might have been happening during the additional shoots. But was there anything out, Chris? Do you have another question or anything?
Oh no, I was gonna. Sorry, I had to mute because my kids in the background.
Oh, cool.
They keep coming in, and
I thought I was gonna do it upstairs too, but I was
it's
freak show.
Right. I was wondering. So, have you ever talked? Did Jim Lee ever talk to you and says, "Hey, because this is one of the questions I always get. Like, are they even talking about how your Justice League would connect to something else, or was that like no?
I don't
Jack,
think anything's gonna happen right away, but Jim and I talked quite a bit. And we talked a lot about maybe doing a book or a comic book down the road to kind of finish this. But we haven't locked anything in. But if it's a thing that would be interesting to the fandom, I mean, they can always ask Jim about it. But I absolutely would love to do a comic book. We were like, I said to him, I would like to do. We were just kicking it around, just sort of being dorks, and I said it'd be cool, I would love to do, because say you're in the post-apocalyptic world, and Darkseid is the world has fallen and it's the ragtag team that's left alive to try and put it back. That inside of that story we would also do the backstory of Joker killing Robin. Like that would be the thing because the Joker is somehow involved in the, in the stealing of the mother box and using it to create the treadmill. That was, because in my mind it was always Cyborg was going to do the math and figure out this is what we got to do to go back in time to warn Bruce correctly, and so. But I always thought that there was the conflict. A lot of the conflict that was happening there was Bruce reliving the events that the death of Robin and sort of what went into that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that'd be a fun comic book, even just the death of Robin.
Oh man,
You're in that world, just like a nice little one-off little.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that too, where it's just like if you're gonna do any kind of like spin-offs or like parts of your story, I'm like, yeah, there's animation, yeah, that's cool, but you'd have to do that. I mean, let's face it, you like to take your time with your stories. You like to just flesh it out. We joked about how they were trying to condense your Justice League to a 2-hour runtime, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, that's not your style. So graphic novels would be exactly the kind of medium that you should go to if you're gonna finish telling some of these stories or do spin-off stories.
Yeah, no, I thought so too, but we'll see. I mean, it could be cool, but who knows? I don't want to
Oh, come on.
It doesn't exist right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just talking about
time.
We're just talking. That's it.
We're just talking. But Snyder, I wanted to bring in the gentleman who set up this whole day and have him talk to you for a little bit because he busted his ass behind the scenes to try to get all these streams and everything. So, Mr. Andre Nicotina Show, what is up?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing really good right now.
Good. That's good, man.
Zach, it's a pleasure to meet you. This was
mine, sir. Look what you've done. Look what you're the Dr. Frankenstein, and we are the monsters. So
pretty much it. We are. Yeah. Look at my hat for shit's sake.
I like that.
Oh,
that's cool.
That alone is ridiculous.
So I know, right? That's why I wore it. I mean,
you can't. All this technology just for that. It seems like
But it
that's
is.
what happened. By the way, that's sort of mankind in a nutshell. But that's fine. That's not.
I love it. No, but Andre, man, I mean, good job on setting everything up today.
Thank you.
I mean, it only took like half a day to get to the mark that we wanted to get to, and we got there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, how great does that feel?
It feels incredible. Zach, going about this whole process when we were putting this event together, and the same went for when we did a similar event for Justice Con, reaching out to all these different shows, these different show hosts like Chris and Dave and everyone else who's there. I can't think of names right now, but everybody was on board. I mean, there was zero hesitation to be a part of this. The fandom was excited. We had a ton of submissions of fan videos, just giving their thoughts on the movement and on your work. And there was so much, just so much reception from the fandom, and it was really incredible. And I just wanted to create something to where we can end the year on a high note, and reaching that goal of 500,000 is incredible, and it's worth every penny. And I don't, at the end of last year, I had a really hard time in my life, and so that's why AFSP means a lot to me, because I can definitely relate to it. And I've always wanted to say that, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because along with having the love and support from my family and my kids, my wife, the constant support and positivity that I got from this fandom and everyone involved with it is insurmountable. I mean, and all of this is a reflection of you and your character and your integrity. So I just want to say thank you for being you, and thank you for just being awesome, because this has meant the world to me, and being able to tell you this is just like, I feel like I'm dreaming right now. So,
well, listen, like I look, the fact that you guys and this fandom have rallied in this way and created this community. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. I don't care. It's an honor for me to be involved with such an incredible movement. And also such a great organization, AFSP. And what we've done. And I said it, I'll say it again. The work that's done, and we all know, like the work that's been done by the fans, lives have been saved, and lives continue to get saved every day. And that's a huge deal. And just like Connie said in her video, there's people out there that this is a crushing time. And holidays on top of COVID, on top of everything.
Yeah.
And, the fact that there are organizations like AFSP out there that are looking out for, people in deep despair, or people who are falling through the cracks and they don't know where to turn, that there is a place to go and there is something to do. There's someone out there to listen and someone out there to help. So you gotta, like, if you feel anything, if you're anxious or, whatever you're feeling, it's okay. That's the main thing. It's okay.
Reach out, people.
Gotta reach out, 100%.
Definitely reach out. I played this at the beginning of the stream, but I want to play it for you, Zach, because I don't know if you saw it, but it's a little fan video spliced together, a bunch of fan videos. I want to show their appreciation right now. Here we go.
Hey Zach, just wanted to wish you and your family a happy holiday season. A lot of people around the world, myself included, are really looking forward to seeing Army of the Dead and Zack Snyder's Justice League next year. So, bring them on.
Hey Zach, thanks for your DC movies. I hope to see much more of it. To release the Snyder Cut campaign, that we never gave up and reached the desired goal. Thanks for all, guys. Thanks for all, Zach.
Zack, your characters are an inspiration. You're great, man. We love you and we'll be with you till the end of the line.
Hey Zach, thank you for your creative vision, thank you for your work, and most of all, thank you for fighting for that vision with class and positivity and integrity.
Hi Zach and Deborah, this is Craig. Just to say thank you for all your films, and we're really looking forward to Zack Snyder's Justice League. And a special thank you to the Release the Snyder Cut movement. It's been a pleasure getting to know all of you.
Hey Zach, and everyone in the Release the Snyder Cut community from Ireland, and so proud of what we managed to achieve for artistic integrity, for suicide prevention, and to actually get this movie out next year. Big celebration. Shout out to the boys, you know who you are. Peace out.
Oh, you got the best fans ever, man. I tell you what. Get the best. Do you still have a little time, Zach? I know your phone's blown up. You're good?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just Odie. They're like I said, I was trying to lock the reels, and they're like, "Oh, when you're done, come up to the editorial. I want to show you something."
Oh,
you get? Wait, let's see.
Cool. Can we see it too?
I know. Just bring the camera.
Yeah, take us with you.
Take us with you.
If you want to do that, I mean, we'll just sit here quietly if you want. No. Oh my God! Is that Junkee XL right there?
What's that?
Is that Junkee?
Yeah, that was a little XL right there.
Wow! Hey, did you hear that, guys? Exclusivo! Oh, wow!
Wow, that was so cool.
Holy crap!
Oh
my gosh!
Look at this!
Oh man!
There we go.
It's cool because basically, he's really done an insane job. We recently were just screening the movie for publicity and some other guys on the lot, and the music supervisor from Warner Brothers was saying that he was like, "Holy smokes, the music is unbelievable." Junkee has just crushed it. So, and he really has. I mean, it's wall to wall. I don't know. I was asking, I go, "Are we doing an album?" Because I wanted a box of those vinyl, 4 hours of music. Just, yeah.
I want to buy it too.
I don't know if we're doing vinyl. By the way, I don't know if we're doing it. I want to, but who knows?
Write it down. Write it down.
They're gonna give me a. No one wants that. I
have a BVS vinyl right here.
just screenshot that.
Tell me. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
Chris, did you hear earlier what I was saying about the IMAX?
Yeah.
You get that note? What
I got 2 locations. I veroed you some 2 locations that have IMAX.
But do they have a 4.3?
I'll have to call them.
See, that's the difference.
Okay.
That's what I kind of wanted to ask too about the IMAX ratio. I mean, obviously you tweeted that picture, or not tweeted, but Vero'd the pictures that you were showing it. I mean, I live in California, away, like an hour and 12 minutes from Pasadena. Zach, where can
Well, the Universal City
I'm in
Walk
California
Theater,
too.
probably, or the Science Center. Those are
Science
the
Center?
two. Or Man's Chinese. Listen, Man's Chinese is awesome. Here's the problem. The only small thing, and by the way, I love it. I've had premieres there. I love that theater.
That's great.
Yeah.
When they put the IMAX, when they turned that to an IMAX screen, they did have to do a slight crop because of the architecture, because it's the building. You don't want to. It's Man's Chinese, right? Don't mess it up.
Not gonna fuck with that.
So the screen's not 4:3. It's not, it's not as big as the normal IMAX. The big, when you shoot the IMAX ratio, that's what my movie. And frankly, just to set the record straight, I shot 35 millimeter motion picture film, but in that aspect ratio, because what had happened on BVS is during the title sequence, we were shooting that whole sequence, the death of the Waynes, and one of our IMAX cameras froze, and so we had to do a couple shots with just a full app 35 millimeter camera, and we cut it in, and it worked pretty well. And I thought, because part of the problem with like shooting an entire movie in IMAX, which was what I wanted to do, is that they don't have a sync sound version. You'd have to loop all the dialogue because the camera's so noisy, right? So when you do sound with it, it's like a scrap. But that's why you don't shoot. People haven't shot too much dialogue with those cameras. I mean, you can, and I have, but you just gotta, it'd be difficult to do a whole movie that way. Or like if you were shooting inside, or like an intimate scene, like you'd have to loop it. So anyway, I said, okay, well maybe the compromise is, or the next step is to just do full app like we did on those couple shots, and it looks insane. It's just epic. Now, I'm not sure exactly how. What the distribution plan could ever be for IMAX. I don't know that, other than to say that I'm doing everything I can to make sure that it exists in IMAX, so that even after the release on HBO Max, that we could get together, say in Hawaii or Florida or Tahiti, or I don't know. I don't think there is a IMAX screen in Tahiti, but we could build one and go. You know what I'm saying? You get the south of France. I don't know, somewhere not cold necessarily. And just have a nice, little bit
I'll find out on Monday for you, Zach.
Little free movie. I mean, Hawaii would be fine. I'd be down with that. But you still need your 4:3. I'm not going to compromise on that.
Yeah, I will find out. I'll get you that answer tomorrow.
All right. Well, it's no huge rush. Just like I
take it upon myself. It's my mission.
Yeah, no huge rush. We get it.
But I feel like that'd be a cool 3-day event. We could do we'll do the 3 movies over 3 days, IMAX, and you guys can set up some sort of other stuff during the day, and then something like that.
Definitely.
Dan, why wouldn't we do that?
It makes total sense. It really doesn't make any sense now. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the BVS IMAX, you said that's going to probably get released before Zack Snyder.
Yes, I'm hoping. You mean the remaster?
Yes, the remaster.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure how they're rolling it out. I'm just telling you that that will hopefully that will replace the sort of weird bad video version that's out there right now. It's not as bad on the DVD, weirdly, but it is bad on TV.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we're all down to even have one big giant marathon, Man of Steel.
Oh yeah,
and Zack Snyder's Justice League. I will wear a diaper if that's needed.
No, it's not needed.
Okay.
I mean, I like that you volunteered that.
Just throwing it out there. That's all.
I wear a hazmat suit. I don't care.
That's not going to be the thing that makes us do it.
Okay, good.
I'm not saying it's not a great. It shows self-sacrifice in a lot of ways, which I love.
Do you think there's going to be an intermission when it comes to Justice League, when it theatrical release, or is it just hey?
If we saw it in the theater, we'd have to have an intermission.
I'm just saying, like, you could have those dancing cartoon like condiments. Let's go out to the lobby. Like that.
That would be us leaving, going to the bathroom.
Or you just have some scary junkie music going like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying, yes, that would even be a better. Is like just have some more of that junkie music that you just teased right now playing. Oh, that would be
10 minutes of that, and then you just run out and go. Anyway.
That's going to be hard to run out, like listening to that. But a couple of guys that want to talk to you real quick here, Zach. A couple of guys that, if you're making the rounds through live streams, podcasts, I would definitely recommend these two gentlemen of the Squadcast, Mr. Tim Yoko and Scott McClellan, as I like to call them, Harry and Marv.
Oops.
Just a little Christmas fun, guys. Come on.
Come on.
That was awesome.
Pretty good.
So am I Joe Pesci or am I Daniel Stern? I'm not really sure.
I think you're Stern. Anyway, welcome, guys. Welcome. Well, thank you for joining the stream right here. And of course, you got anything to talk about with Mr. Snyder? Go right ahead. I first should say this, Snyder, is Scott. You should see this guy's book collection. And when you start talking about books that you would like to do, I mean, Scott is the guy that's like, oh, look at like right there. There you go.
Oh, there you go. He's got some Blood Meridian just on the desk.
Both of us. We are Cormac McCarthy fans.
Yes,
we
are.
Well, that's not hard. That's not hard to like that.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh, he's looking at his bookshelf. Watch out.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got something going.
No. Anyways. No, but
it's not here. It's upstairs. But it's that's good.
Tim, how was Zach?
Tim?
I have it on my I listen to it in the car a lot when I'm driving because it's good. The prose are so, it's like poetry. It's amazing. Anyway.
Yeah. Go ahead, Scott. You were saying something?
No, Tim, I'm deferring to you because I at least got to be there for the Real in Motion Roundtable. You did not.
No,
so I'm being a good partner here. Come on.
Oh, no. The first thing I was going to say, Zach, it's a pleasure to get a chance to talk to you. But I'm going to tell you right now, we started our show, our podcast over 5 years ago. We started our show because of Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fact. Oh, yeah, that is a fact. Because we love the movie so much, and we were so pissed off at all the reactions that we were getting, just from the reviewers and all that, and the Rotten Tomato score, which was a paltry, 55%, whatever it was at the time, which was rude. And anyway, so we just we can't be the only ones that love this film, and we decided, we're going to put together a podcast, and we put the thing together, and it just took off. It just validated everything that we believe, that there's all these legions of fans out here that really loved what you did. So we just want to thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate it, you guys, and I appreciate you out there fighting the fight every day, and being in the trenches with the people who, frankly, who aren't that into it, and would love to pick a fight. So I appreciate that you guys. Listen, the way I approach it is I love this material and I love these characters. And I feel like they are important, and they have the messages are important. So, we're not lazy filmmakers over here. We like to make sure that, there's something to talk about inside of it. And, I happen to think that, this I don't want to say that Superman is a completely deconstructivist story. It is kind of a combo. I would say that my Superman is more of it kind of peels back some of the onion, but not all of it. It doesn't destroy it, where I feel like, I wasn't looking to destroy it. I was looking to kind of make sure that we backed it up. I wanted to make sure that what you're experiencing in the movie was sort of backed up by all of the things that created Superman himself. So anyway, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it ad nauseum. But my point is only that I think a lot of people at the time were not necessarily that's not what they wanted from the movie. They wanted straightforward, Superman, and I'm not saying, and I do believe that my Superman is definitely, you get those moments if you want them, it's in there because that's part of the character, but also part of the character is his conflict about, the morality of the will of the swarm versus the individual, or the how do I make a difference as a singular sort of God on earth? What is my responsibilities, and just all of that stuff that's real to that experience. And I think that I don't know.
I think a lot more people are just coming around to it now. I mean, when it initially came out, that was when Marvel was really doing their thing. So that's the bad part, is people start doing the comparison and stuff. But then I've seen people do a complete 180. When they revisit it, they're like, well, wait a minute, this is a Superman that I was actually wanting, maybe just not at the time. And I think you have a knack for doing that, Snyder, because when it comes to Watchmen, I mean, people go back to that movie too and go, geez, that is a superhero movie that is not anything like what's happening right now, and I want more of that. So, I mean, I'm just saying you're ahead of your time. That's all.
Yeah, no. Well, look, I think Watchmen is one of those movies that was probably made about 8-10 years before it should have been made. I mean, and I
definitely
maybe at the time I did, but I feel like now, sort of movie audiences have caught up with comic book audiences, so. A lot of the sort of, in that movie, the true deconstruction is appreciated now. Where at the time it was like, what? This doesn't make and I was like, no, it's because it's fetish. It's people, they're like, wait, what? Superheroes dress up, some of them anyway, for get aroused and I'm like, look, it's complicated, it's not, it's more than just, it's exactly, but if you take it all away, that's what happened. That's the whole thing, and I think Alan, did an amazing job of taking the mythology all the way to its final, where it always would end up, no matter what. If you take it seriously, this is how it ends, and I think that's really cool. And and we did some of that in BVS, some of the eventuality of unilateral power, eventuality of of a character built on revenge and trying to understand that at what point do you become the thing that you are fighting? If the result, or if the goal is revenge, even if you don't admit that, if you say, oh no, it's justice, well, what is the difference between justice and revenge?
True.
It's like perspective. It's difficult anyway. So sorry, another rant. I apologize.
No.
Because I want to say that it's been wonderful. I've been able to see all of your movies with my own father, and you make movies that my dad and I love to go see together. So much so that when Man of Steel came out, it was my first Father's Day, and so I saw the movie with my dad, with my own 4-month-old at home at the time, and it's always been something special. And then leading to me getting to meet Tim, who we've actually never met in real life. He lives in Indiana. I live in Alabama. By the way, I got a science center that will work great for this IMAX. I'm just saying. McWayne Science Center in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm just saying. But
does it have 4-3?
It does.
It's a dome. I'm saying it's
very good chance it does. I'll look it up.
Yeah. But it's just been a big thank you for all that you've given us, and the 5 years of us helping to build a community that we would never have had if it hadn't been for your movies and what they inspire. I do have a question. No, I do have a question though, because one thing about BVS that I've always loved was the John Borman Excalibur references, because these guys all know I'm a huge King Arthur fan.
Cool.
I've always wondered though, because with the shirt design for all the gods and the sword with the House of El and the pommel, I'm kind of curious, with the idea of the codex, did you ever think of that more like an Excalibur symbol or more of a Grail symbol when it came to Kal-El's kind of being a King Arthur kind of figure in your saga.
Probably the Codex is more of a Grail concept, in my opinion. I think, but I think that the sword is like, the hero's journey, sort of that idea that Superman is the Joseph Campbellian like classic hero's arc circle, and that the sword is the mantle of his responsibility in a lot of ways, is really what the sword is. But it also has other tricky little implications as well. That I won't.
Should we talk about that F-bomb? I mean, I have this drop right here. Yeah, that's a drop that I have, Snyder, which is from John Travolta in Broken Arrow, which I think is one of the best F-bombs right there. And I always make the joke. I'm like, well, when does Batman actually say the F-bomb? When he sees Superman get resurrected? When he sees Darkseid? I mean, what does he say? We could talk about it.
Well, I'm not going to say when it happens. That was like a spoiler. Like a real big spoiler. I think you're gonna have to experience it in real time, as they say. But suffice it to say that it's earned. It's a very earned. I don't know what.
It's an earned F-bomb.
What you call it? Oh well, for sure F-bomb. But I just mean like it's an earned emotional outpouring, if you will.
Yeah, see, I mean, like,
it's just in a stressful situation.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. I mean, like, it does make sense because, I mean, when we heard about that, it was just kind of funny how the hype levels went like, oh my God, Batman dropping an F-bomb. And I mean, like, everybody was like, ooh, and there's people that are like, wait a minute, my Batman doesn't do that. But I'm like, I don't know, this Batman does. What were we going to say, Tim?
Who's your Batman, by the way? They were saying that. I'd be like, "Who's your Batman?"
I mean, Mr. Good.
No, but my point is like when someone says that.
Oh yeah. Oh, right. I thought you were asking me. I was like,
no, I was like, I know. I'm saying like if someone said that to me, like my Batman doesn't drop an F-bomb.
Yeah.
Well, who is this guy? Where is this guy? Like, where is this Batman you speak of? Like,
exactly. Well, I mean, and then one of the things I was actually going to ask you about it too, because I remember when it came to Batman saying "oh shit" in BVS right before Doomsday, and right before Wonder Woman saves his ass, which is still, and I don't care what anybody says, it's the most perfect intro of any superhero ever.
Fantastic.
Jesus Christ.
Cheers.
My God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. Like I can't even imagine anybody like conquering that, but. I heard that was a Ben Affleck ad lib, when he just said, "Oh shit." Was that really true? Did he really just say it? And you were like, "Yeah, that's fine. That's exactly what Batman would say."
Mm-hmm. It might have been. It's not jumping out at me as an ad lib, but it's certainly not. We were talking about the other day that when we did the casting of Gal. Right. I think I've talked about this in the press. I don't know. You guys stop me if you've heard the story, but so they were doing a scene where they were kind of, it was like a scene that's not in the movie. We had just written it for the audition, and she was just confronting him about his drinking or I don't know what, something intense. And so, she said something to him like at the end of the scene, just like, it's kind of a little riff on the like you've never known a woman like me, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
And in the casting, he's like doing the scene like this, and she says it, and he like goes, "Whoa."
Nice.
And it was awesome because I was like, we were just like, I guess this is Wonder Woman, you kind of got checkmated there, so I guess we're done with the casting. Pretty cool, but that suffice it to say that like. That kind of, in the presence of Gal, I think that feels like the kind of thing Ben, it's in keeping with that moment, I think, from earlier. So it certainly could have been.
Nice. Andre, do you have anything you want to add?
When you did your additional photography, being able to go back and do those scenes, how gratifying that feels, knowing that you're able to go back and add additional footage to what you had already worked on?
I mean, it's surreal, you know.
I mean, this is surreal right now.
It's
I can understand. Yeah.
I don't even know where I am right now. Yeah.
It was surreal in that, you know, we shot the movie in,
2015, 2016.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know, that's a long time ago, and so it was weird. Although I will say, working with Ben and the guys and Ray, and I won't say everyone who was there, but you probably know. But anyway, and it was really. I'm sorry, that's the movie camera.
Okay, put up your dukes. Camera dukes.
But it was seamless, and it felt completely like we hadn't stopped. So it was really great. I don't think I thought about it in those terms as like this kind of. I love shooting, and I like the physical act of, holding a camera and filming somebody. And so in that way, it was really fun.
What was the reason?
Cool scene, so there's that.
Yeah.
What was the reason you chose to do some additional photography? Was there something that like said, "Hey, I need to get these other scenes"? Is it something in the editing process?
I mean, this was a scene I had like kicked around in my mind for a long time, and there was just no. I thought at the time there was just no. It's just nice that it would have been a great thing to do, whatever, 3.5 years ago, 4 years. I don't know when we were shooting, but we were still. Everything was evolving. But now in retrospect, the scene totally makes complete sense to the movie. And so it was really just the working out of a lot of ideas I'd had over the whole thing. And, kind of, for me, it was kind of also, it references things I had started earlier in some ways. And so it's not like, even though it's an original scene, it's not an original idea. It riffs on ideas that I've had from before. So
okay. We're gonna cut to Miss Colbert and daughter of Colbert right here, who is gonna update.
Oh my God!
Hi, I saw that you had her.
Still at it.
Yeah, I saw.
I am. Can you say hi? I'm gonna pretend to be shy.
That's fine.
All
right. He's a lot younger than I remember.
That's the Snyder Cut baby from like a year ago or so. The last I checked, we were at. I'm gonna misquote it now. $688.
Wow.
There you go. Cheers. Cheers to that.
That's very good.
Yeah. Which is amazing.
Cheers with water, but
hey, we get it. You're working,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, you guys don't want me drunk up there trying to.
I don't know. Hey, I don't know about you, but I've come up with some pretty cool shit while I was,
I came up with a lot of cool shit when I was drunk, but then the next day I was like, that's actually not as good as I thought.
There's a lot of that. I have a Google Keep app, and I'm like, I'll write stuff in there, and then the next morning I'm like, what the fuck was I actually talking about right there? I mean, it's not even like it doesn't even make sense. Like it spellings and blah blah blah. It's like I thought I was going for something there. I had something.
You're like, this is gold. I gotta write this down.
Yes, I gotta do it. It just does not make any sense at all. Chris, you have any got anything else?
Oh no, I'm good. Go to Scott.
Scott, you got something.
No, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy that Tim was able to make it, and we're just excited. And of course, we'd love to. If you ever find yourself in need of another interview, of course, we'd love to have you on DC Film Squadcast. This is my complete shameless plug at this time because I've got it. I mean, I'm just going to go for it.
Listen, just to give you a little bit of a, to talk a little bit about how we're going forward from here, just so you guys can have some ideas about as we forge ahead. That so in the new year, we'll probably very early in the new year, we want to let Wonder Woman have its run, and everybody's got to get out and see Wonder Woman and just love it because it's amazing. And I'm just super proud. But then probably in the new year, we're going to have a hard announcement of a date, a hard date, and a cool announcement. Little activation. I don't know exactly. I mean, I have an idea what it might be, so it's going to be cool. Maybe something you don't expect, so that's fun. And then after that, you can expect probably another big trailer coming soon after that. And then whatever other cool activations we have, advertising and whatever. So it's going to get pretty crazy, pretty Justice League centric coming up in the next couple, once the advertising campaign kicks in and the whole might of HBO Max and AT&T. Hopefully it's all of AT&T. Yeah. And what's going to be cool is you can't make a phone call without, oh my God, Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is crazy. I can't. Perfect. Or it'll be like hello, how you doing? Blah blah blah. You're like, for fuck's sake. That's what I'm hoping. I can't say that's a guarantee, because I think there's privacy things and stuff like that. But whatever, if they can, figure it out, it'd be great. Yeah. But so I think that'll be fun. And then as we get really close to release, of course, that's when all I'm saying is that I'll be back here talking to all you guys, and we'll really take a super deep dive on everything and go nuts, because why not? Why wouldn't we? And by then,
and we love the fact that you're taking this approach instead of just doing the normal press junkets thing, which you have to do those.
That'll happen too, but this is also going to be. I'm not going to stop doing this because I like to.
I mean, it's a game changer. Yeah. It really is. Even a couple of few weeks ago, I talked to the guys who directed Fat Man. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Fat Man yet. I think you should. I think, Snyder, you would love that movie of Mel Gibson as Santa Claus. I think you should watch that movie. I think you would really enjoy it because it's really like a bare bones Santa Claus movie. I think you'd like it. Yeah, no, it's really good. R-rated Santa Claus movie. Come on. He's a badass. But but I mean, I just reached out and they're like, yeah, let's do it. And I mean, this is really the new medium of really just to get things out there, especially now with what's going on with the pandemic. I mean, when I reached out to Connie Nielsen's people, I mean, she was just look at how relaxed she was just in her own house, just sipping a glass of wine and just hey, let's just shoot the shit. Let's talk some movies and whatever. I mean, it's just it's a lot easier than
100%. I agree. I've had a great time, and you guys, it's also fun to talk and sort of wrap out about, with, like-minded, if you will, individuals who, whose interests are also just it's a deep dive. It's not just oh, do the guys work out a lot, for the movie? What was that like? Was that hard training the guys to get them in shape? I'm like, okay. Yes, it was. What was the most difficult part of the shoot? I don't know. Waking up. I don't know. It's waking up. It's but you know what I mean. So you do that 600 times, and you're like, okay, I can't. I'm like, I just talk to someone who knows something about a comic book or like the movie or something. So it's kind of it's refreshing just to say on this.
Shit. I think one more thing I was going to ask you is what Christmas movie do you go to when it comes to this time of the year? What's your ideal Christmas movie?
It's funny. We used to really do Love Actually a lot.
Oh, okay.
But the kids, it's not really kids.
Yeah, not really.
It's funny because you, in a lot of ways, you kind of, it feels like a kid's movie in a way, right? On one level, it kind of feels like it, but there's, it's not, and it's funny because they're come on, it's on all the time. We flip through the channels, we're like, oh, Love Actually, and everyone's like, I'm like, kids, come on. I'm like, oh shit, don't watch this. You can't watch this.
You're running away.
It's like a shot, with I don't know, with Liam Neeson and the kid, and you're like, oh, this is cool. This is fun. And then you're like, no, this is not fun. So you gotta be careful of that one. But it's the end of that movie is
oh yeah. That's where it pays off.
Yeah.
Scott, I've actually wondered, what is your all time like best Christmas movie. You know,
I am so predictable. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I was like, yeah,
I love Jimmy Stewart. It's just it's not original. It's not original at all. But I have to watch that movie every year. It's me. I'm sorry.
The cool thing about It's a Wonderful Life is you don't have to schedule that one. You'll get that.
Oh, it's on like
You'll get it. You'll get it. Like you're like, I'm not going to watch It's a Wonderful Life this year, and you're like, God, I've watched it twice.
What about you, Chris? What is your all-time?
It's either Home Alone or Elf.
There you
go. Elf is pretty solid. Elf is
Elf is fun. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Andre?
Home Alone is good, but I have to go with Die Hard. That's my favorite.
Oh,
my favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard.
That's right. And
we're talking about kids' movies now.
Just to let everybody know, I'm going to do a live watch of Die Hard on the channel, of course, on Christmas Eve, because why the fuck? You know, I mean, it's the
in your jammies?
Yeah. And my nice little cozy hat too, even though it's like 66 degrees in California. But okay, what about you, Tim? What is your ultimate Christmas movie go to?
I mean, for me, it's A Christmas Story. It's set right where I grew up. Northwest Indiana is where I grew up, and it's set right there. In fact, they even make fun of my hometown in the film. Claude Hopper from Griffith, Indiana, swallowed a yo-yo. That's my hometown there. so but it's such a great. I mean, it's just even my kids love it. It's really a whole family film, and it's got a lot of nostalgia. I mean, it's not exactly my era. It's a little bit before that, but it's I can relate to a lot of it.
Oh yeah, you'll shoot your eye out. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's Italian.
Yeah. What about you, Amanda?
I mean, also A Christmas Story, but Tim and I grew
Probably,
up 20 minutes from each other,
Mm-hmm.
so something like that.
Yep.
So A Christmas Story for sure. Fragile. Also, the pig eating the marshmallow, eating the mashed potatoes and the peas. It's like
so many great scenes.
Yeah. I love how TBS always runs that on a loop like the entire day of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
for 30 straight days.
It's just like you always catch a Christmas Story. For me, it's always this movie right here.
And we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye.
Yes. I mean, come on. Christmas Vacation. That's a great poll right there. I had to pull that right there.
You obviously don't have kids.
Does it show? Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
But no, it's always great. But I say okay. So we're doing pretty good still with the donations and everything. We still got Snyder here. Hey,
listen, I actually have to jump because I gotta go. I've got to go cut, and then I got to get Debbie on because she's going to yell at me because I have her light. So,
you got her light. All right, so go ahead. There you go, guys.
All right, guys. Look, I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon.
Have fun editing, Zach.
Yes, go see Wonder Woman 84 too, guys.
Yes, please.
Zach. Merry Christmas.
Go see it, or after you've opened your presents and you're like, sitting around in the afternoon.
That's what I'm doing.
There you go.
All right.
Merry
Thank
Christmas,
you, Snyder.
Zach.
All right.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Zach.
Take it easy. Oh, there it was.
We are at 37,710.
Yay.
Good job.
Nice.
Good job.
Good job, everyone.
So how does it feel, Andre? You talk to the man.
So that's what it feels like, right? Oh, man.
Man. That euphoria that you felt. Yeah,
that was really cool, man. That was probably one of the greatest moments of my life, really. I mean, it's been built up in my head for so long, but that was awesome. And him talking about possibly seeing it at a theater or whatnot. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I was freaking out.
Well, I mean, if he plans on showing it anywhere down here, you better make the venture down south.
Oh, I don't care how far away it is. I'm gonna make a venture anywhere.
Yeah, I know exactly, right? No, but I actually really appreciated your story that you said too. I never knew that.
Yeah.
That wasn't easy to say that, especially if you say that to somebody who you really look up to. I mean, that was not an easy thing at all.
Yeah, no, it's something that I've told just like my close friends. But I mean, it's the truth, and it's something that I've always I've always wanted to share with him. At the same time, it's like, you know, without him and without all this, you know, I wouldn't even know you guys.
Sure.
And you guys are all wonderful people. And like DC Squadcast, I would listen to you guys all the time because I was always trying to find content that would talk about DC news and also like the Snyder Cut. And you guys would always talk about it. And so I'd listen to your podcast all the time on my phone. I was like, oh, finally, I have something to listen to. Every time that there was a break between your podcast, it was always so long. And I was like, God, when are they going to do a new one? Yeah, and it's just, you know, I think the fact that, you know, you guys were here, you know, for one, like I've been listening to DC Squadcasts, like it seems like forever. Chris is, you know, I've told you a million times, like, you know, you've always been, you know, very inspirational. And then Dave as well, you know, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's wonderful.
No, I mean, it's what it's all about.
And Amanda, you're amazing too.
Yeah.
What a read! I love it.
No, Amanda, no. I typed this, but I wanted to say it on air just for you, Amanda. Honey Badger don't care. Honey Badger don't give a shit. That's for you, Amanda. That's for you.
Thank you. Oh, somebody clip that and send it to me. Thanks.
There you go. It's at the 126, a little before 126, right there. I'm just time stamping it right there, just in case anybody wants to do
Appreciated.
that. Yes.
Oh my God, you'll have that, and you'll have my bedtime story. You're gonna have so much blackmail material
I
on me.
know.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
Meg and I together. Meg and I combined.
There you go. There you go. No, today was like I said, today was, you know, was definitely awesome. I mean, the fact that Snyder was popping in on the various different streams, which was great. I mean, you know, especially the international ones. I was actually yes, show some love to those guys because, you know, they're not within like the full on circle as, you know, we mainly are. I've talked to those guys, of course, naturally, but you know, we mustn't forget that there's like different time zones that are just like, you know, way out there that are just, I mean, I get that all the time. Some of my friends are like, oh, I can't watch because you're going on at 4:00 in the morning. I'm like, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? You know, and, but the fact that he made the rounds right there, he showed up on even the regular streams and everything. It's just, it's pretty awesome. And Fisher was great too. You know,
that interview was fantastic.
Oh, he did an amazing job.
Yeah. Tim, I'll fill you in when we record the show after this.
Oh my God.
You know, I was like vibrating for the next 6 hours.
Dude, I mean, I didn't, sadly, I didn't catch it live, but I was watching and I was catching up with it. And when he was starting to drop some of the, you know, that one director, when he came in and he started talking about, you know, people didn't understand this movie. And I'm like, oh, so that's the base of that. And I remember hearing something about that a while ago too, where it's like, you know, he was kind of making up for what happened with Age of Ultron, and it was like, oh, he didn't understand that, so I'm gonna put stuff in this movie and blah, blah. I don't know. The ego.
Yeah.
The ego, and I mean, literally, he recycles a fucking joke from that movie into this movie. I mean, it's just right there, and I love the fact that Fisher is like, I'm gonna drop that little nugget of information right there. That, oh yeah, during like a little meeting, he just fucking went off and was ranting about how. Because we've heard about that, how Whedon was having problems with Age of Ultron with Marvel Studios. They were clashing, and they were, you know, stuff was being changed and everything like that, which sucks. It does suck because we hate it when studios interfere. But at the same time, it's just like the fact that he brought that to Justice League, and essentially instead of just being like, "Hey, I understand what's going on. Maybe I shouldn't do this, and we should try to preserve what Snyder wanted," he just didn't do that. He let his ego go, hey, okay, well, this is going to be my time. You know, I'm going to change it to, you know, if they didn't understand this movie, well, I don't know. That's just what I was getting. I'm just spitting.
Well, and also the fact that what Ray talked about was the fact that he wasn't allowed to read the reshoot pages until he actually met with, like, Joss wasn't letting anyone read the pages, according to Ray, until they had a sit-down meeting with him. It was like, I must the vibe I was getting from it was, I need to see you, I need to talk to you, I need to talk you through this before I let you read the pages. That's how I interpreted what Ray was saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I'm gonna buy you dinner so you'll put out for me kind of vibes. I mean, I'm not, you know what, allegedly, whatever. That's just my opinion and stuff. I didn't say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that he wouldn't let him read the script until he met with him, which means that he had a lot of changes he made to his character. And instead of letting him see the script and then react to it, he said, "No, when we have a meeting, I'll go over everything with you." Basically, just to say this is what's going to happen, and you got to deal with it.
It just feels so patronizing. Like, do you not trust Ben Affleck to understand how to read a script? Do you not trust? Whatever. I don't get it. The audacity.
Everything we saw in the trailer that Zach dropped, everything we saw in that, even that one short line of dialogue that Ben gives at the end, even Ezra, all that was better than everything we saw in the theatrical cut.
Oh, of course.
Like a million times over. So it just goes to show you, like, what were they? I don't know. It's the craziest thing in the world to think about what somebody was thinking when they decided to make that decision.
Tim, I told you, I texted you the other night. We have got to get our Mystery Science Theater 3000 commentary track scheduled.
I kind of halfway was thinking when Zach was on, I'm like, hey, we're going to do this commentary on Joss Whedon's Justice League. Do you want to join us?
No. The man never
seen it.
No,
I know he never needs to.
No, I know he doesn't need to see it, but like, if he did, I would want to be there to catch his reactions.
How many what the fuck? Like
how many what the fucks does he put in when people ask him about it in the Vero comments, and you're like, dude, really? He does. How many times have you got to hear over the last 3 years he has not seen this movie? Why expose him to all the various things that we know are not there?
It's all selfish. I literally want to hear his reactions.
Maybe one of these days he will. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, down the road he'd just be like, you know what? Let me do a live watch of this shit. I mean, that thing would get huge. Like, everybody would be watching the shit out of that to get a Snyder. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, that fucking theatrical edition still has his goddamn name on it.
I know.
I wanted to ask him about that.
Directed by Zack Snyder, and that's a travesty. So he has every right to just fucking watch that and trash and piss and shit all over it if he wants to.
And you know what? And I've talked to people who are not fans of his work, are not fans of what he's done in this movie, and even they agree that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And I mean that's it's one of those things that when you talk to people, it actually brings so many people together. It's like, no, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong on so many levels. It's just it's really bad.
I know. I mean, eventually I'm going to do a live watch of that too. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys want to join me when I do that. That'll be fun.
Well, I have to save a little bit of exclusivity.
Yeah,
for
I know.
our
I get it. You know.
But we called if we get Zach on, we call dibs on it.
Okay.
Live commentary track with Zack Snyder. We call dibs.
If he comes on,
you
just
got it.
play the movie. Oh, look, it's on.
Oh, look what's on, Zach.
All right. Let's see how it is. Jesus.
Might want to.
The fuck out!
Had to drop that one.
Tim has that effect on people. I'm sorry. It's natural for him.
No. I know you guys play that now, but eventually I'm going to do that. And then, of course, we should all do a live watch of the 4-hour edition of
I love the fact that we talked about this Friday night, but he said if it's released theatrically, he pretty much said it has to have an intermission. I'm just like, thank you.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Did you see how he mentioned, like, oh, maybe we should just have some Junkee?
My bladder thanks you, Zach.
Yes, because we talked about that too. I think on a vodka or whatever the hell. Yeah, we talked about that too. Where it's like, imagine him just pumping in some Junkee XL score during that, and it's like, and it sounded to me like he's already got that figured out.
By the way,
of course, I made the joke.
Yeah, who's got the timestamp of the little clip that he played on his phone?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I know, man. I was like, is he going to drop anything? When he was looking at his phone, I was like, oh man. I kept eyeballing him. I'm like, oh shit, has he got something? He's got something, right?
Yeah.
You guys heard it here first. Oh man, some Junkee XL score. Which
I
sounds
swore there was some video happening on his phone too. I was trying to see what was on his phone because
Yeah.
there was something on the screen. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, somebody please timestamp that so we can.
I think I see clips online, or I mean,
Oh,
someone
I'm sure
put it out on Twitter. already,
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody can clip that out. I should have. I was so like, oh, that that I didn't make a timestamp of that. I should have wrote it down like right when he fucking did that. Damn it.
I tweeted right as it happened, so I can
Okay.
just go back and find out when that was at least.
Yes.
Because I was literally like, do, ready to send, and then he played that, and I was like, delete. Different.
Well, you know, he was up to something too because he had his phone. He kept staring at it, and we were like, "He's like, oh, I have to go."
Yeah.
Because I have to work. I'm working on something, and we're like, "Well, what is it?" And then he got really quiet, and he kept staring at his phone. I thought, something's gonna happen. All of a sudden, he's just like,
"Oh no!" See,
playing it, yeah.
Andre, that's what your thought was. My thought was, fuck it, Dave. If we don't get to talk to him a second time in a row,
dude. I was like, when I kept hearing his phone, go off. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit. But I was like, all right, I want to get Andre in here before he leaves.
Yes.
That's a guy who, like, you know, he
organized all of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay. And I was testing the waters. And then he was like, okay, no, it sounds like he's still going to remain here. And then I got you guys in. Thank God.
Beautiful.
I'm like
Well, we
talking
appreciate you having
forever
fun.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling the whole story, and they're backstage like,
I
like,
know. Yeah, he was
"Hey,
back
what's
there for a bit.
happening?"
He was back there for a bit because I kept on hearing his phone go off. I'm like, oh, he's gonna leave any moment now. I'm like, I gotta at least get Andre in because, you know, for those particular reasons. But then luckily he just stuck around for a little bit. So
Yeah, that's
that was
cool.
good.
And I don't care. I was shameless, and I have no guilt whatsoever.
Nothing wrong with that, sir. Nothing wrong with that.
For the record, I tweeted that at 8:49 my time.
8:49.
So
So about the 49.
9:49 Eastern.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So about probably
So-
30 minutes ago.
About
Yeah,
yeah.
about 49 minutes in then. Yeah. Okay. I'll probably have
Somewhere
to
around there.
I might have to clip that one out a little bit and maybe
I've already gotten at
Oh,
least
yeah.
2, possibly 3 clips of being of what just happened.
Oh man.
Seriously. Yeah, it sucks
So
because I actually had like 1,000 questions that I wanted to ask him. And then when
Of
I
course.
finally had a chance, I was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Try hard.
Oh yeah, I know. Like the first time I interviewed him, I had literally 2 fucking pages right here of stuff, and I only got to probably like a half a page the first time around, and then this time around, I just kind of wrote down little things like, "Hey, let's talk." You know, I wanted to bring up Chris Terrio, but I didn't find like I wanted to talk. I'll be like, "Hey, so have you talked to Chris Terrio about all?" Yeah, I wanted to bring that up, but I know like when we set this up, he wanted to really talk about Wonder Woman. That's why I was really trying to emphasize Wonder Woman because he's
It's Friday. I mean, it turns out
Yeah.
Right there.
Friday.
But that was cool
Oh,
though.
sorry, I was
mean,
wearing Wonder Woman earlier. Dang it!
Oh.
all good.
That was cool because you led with that. You said, "Hey,
Yeah.
you know, there's a movie coming out, Wonder Woman. You want to talk about it?" And he was like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah.
let's talk about it." That was awesome.
No,
Tickets for
yeah.
Saturday. Tickets for Saturday. I'm there. IMAX. I'm ready.
Lucky.
Go.
Well, I get to see it Tuesday at least.
I know
But-
you can see Tuesday, and I'll watch it at home on Friday because we got a review to record. I
Yeah.
mean, it's what.
Watch safely. Don't be a spoiler jerk.
Of course
Oh,
not.
come
on.
I like that.
Amanda, would I be a spoiler jerk?
No, not you.
I don't know
I'm
anything
just
about
saying,
He's
like,
talking to
PSA
people
style.
in general.
PSA.
Hey, and by the
Yes.
way, I want to give a great shout out, and Tim, remind me to do this when we record the show later. Great shout out to like our international crew, like the people who like are on our timeline. They have been fabulous.
Yeah, they have not spoiled it.
They have not spoiled it, and even when they want to
Agreed.
tweet, and when they tweet their reactions, they are crafting like the
Respectful.
very my reaction, and that's it. And I, people like Lorena and Fatma and people within our community, and I'm leaving people out, but like just those ladies popped into my head. It's like, thank you. Thank you for not being like these other people.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's like I haven't been spoiled. Nobody's like creeped in my DMs saying like this, that, or this. I know that can be out there. I think Meg had something where
Meg had something happen to her.
Yeah, because there's still going to be assholes out there, but but other than that, I mean, specifically on the timeline, because when Mandalorian comes out, it's fuck all. I mean, you better just log off. I mean, that's why when it came to
like
this
gifts everywhere.
Yeah, when it came to the season finale, I was like, I am just gonna totally void it. I'm off on Friday. I'm gonna wake up, watch it, then get on Twitter. I even did that thing because it's like a muscle, it's just reaction where I like when I woke up on Friday morning, I immediately like looked at my notifications, and then I went right to Twitter and went, nope, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm going to go ahead and make a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to turn on Mandalorian. Watch it first before I get on Twitter. So,
well, that's what's great about living on the West Coast. With the Mandalorian, it premieres at midnight. So I would just stay up till midnight and then do a watch party and, just watch it with some of my friends. It was great.
But you got to be careful with those thumbnails there, Andre.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know. But Zack Snyder. Wrong! Zack Snyder, it's incredible. Incredible stuff.
I had to throw it out there.
So Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I had to throw it out there because a couple of people I remember hearing.
Yeah,
it's okay. I mean, I get it, but yeah, you got to be careful. You don't want to put those in right at the beginning. Yeah.
Hey, Amanda, where are we on the fund so far? Because
actually, I'm refreshing so that I can find that number. Thank you so much.
Sweet. Yeah.
We are at $37,835.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I don't know who C. Snyder is, but C. Snyder donated $5, and I just am imagining one of the Snyder children with an allowance, and my heart is squeezing. Big Rooster Justin McLemore donated again. Watching the film Junkee, you're awesome, Zach. He has been donating throughout the entire stream, so big shout out to you. There's so many people who have donated and have left really amazing, like wonderful notes and dedications, and this is really cool to be able to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. So thank you guys.
Indeed, guys. Like I said,
thank you so much.
Yeah, sadly, I should have turned off the super chat thing here, but I had the link. But anything that this video makes, it's going straight to AFSP, just like last.
And that's been happening all day, where people even try to turn off their super chats, and
it's
YouTube
wasn't
working.
I thought I had it, and it didn't. No, so whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever is this thing makes, it's going to AFSP. So. So that's just letting you guys know that. So even though you guys were donating there, not the link, it's going to go there next month for sure. But yeah, pretty crazy. I'm kind of wondering. Okay, so we got one more live stream left. It almost seems like maybe someone is going to show up there too, which is interesting. Did you hear Snyder say that something about Debbie? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Debbie's going on.
I mean, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but he did drop that Debbie was going to sit down, and I'm like, okay.
And he had her light.
So
he had her light. He had her light. That's right.
I mean, Debbie has her specific light, so that's going to.
I'm not prepared for this.
I'm not prepared for this.
Because you love her so much, don't you?
I don't like to. It makes me uncomfortable to gush.
Okay. We won't make
no problem.
I did ask him earlier today what it's like to be married to the hottest woman in the world.
I remember that. How did he respond again?
Yes, dear. It was like, it's amazing. And I tell her that anytime she asks. Yes, amazing.
Good answer. That's a man who wants to stay married.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's experience.
He knows what's up.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to be the case, but I'm saying there is one more stream, and maybe that's there's some special guests over there for sure. Not to mention other people too. So we have one more stream just to make sure that everybody is catching everything to the very end here. So, but we still got about 16 minutes here, so we can still shoot the shit. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you, Andre, for putting all this together, though. I mean, that's
my pleasure. I mean,
yeah, nice job.
You know, it came down to I was looking at, like I was saying, I was looking at the amount that was raised, and I kept saying, I just feel like, I need to, like, I had to know within myself that I did everything I possibly could, to get to that $50,000 goal. Obviously we passed the $500,000 goal, which is great. But I just felt like this was the right thing to do. Because I mean, this whole movement has been about, for me at least, it's always been about, doing the right thing and what's the right thing to do. And this was the right thing to do. And to end the year like this, it was just, I just thought it just made sense. Even when we picked the day on the 20th, like when we finally decided on what day it was going to be, it just sort of all came together. I know that I can always count on Dave and Chris, that every time I put something together, at least 2 times that I did, they jumped on board immediately. And everyone's just been amazing. I don't know what I would do without you guys, because this whole fandom, everyone in the chat, everyone, all your hosts, everybody, you guys are amazing. And it for me, all of you guys, including all my friends, my co-hosts, everybody, it just made it's made my life I'm in such a better place because of you guys. So thank you.
Good, man. I mean,
nice. Thank
go
you.
ahead, Scott. Yeah.
I was gonna say, think about where we were a year ago.
I know.
I mean,
dude,
we are 3 days away from the anniversary of that shirt that Dave's wearing being announced. Because a year ago, because 3 years ago, a year ago, I was walking out of Rise of Skywalker to that being on my phone, and then the drop started of the Grail Percival scene from Excalibur with all those new black and white shots all the way up to Christmas Day.
Gosh.
I mean, that started on the 23rd of last year.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was a year ago?
It seems like
Do you understand how long Steven rabbit holed by himself with Excalibur? But like, it's you guys.
I can't even imagine. Well, I'm glad he started bringing you in. I mean, you
I know,
became like
right?
a whole, hey, I'm just saying, Amanda, you were like, I love your personality. I love how crazy and just, it's awesome. I love the fact that you've been added to this mix, because you just add. I think you and Steven have that perfect, like, polar opposite, like, especially when you guys, all chatting last night. I mean, the way you guys interact with each other, it's so fantastic. I love it. And
Steven's energy is like low.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I love that you
So
actually got
stable.
to, and I love that you got to meet Heather last night, on our little private call, because she has totally embraced the term that you came up with of the Snyder Cut widow. Because she's that wife that whenever someone says, "So what's up with Justice League? What's this?" and you just see my wife go, "I'll go over there. You just have." She just pulls up a chair, and just goes, "Have a seat. It's going to be a while."
Right. How do you explain it to people? You don't.
I'm kind of looking forward for Sean O'Connell's book to come out, so I could just kind of go.
Read
this. You're good.
Here's the cool thing,
Andre,
and I appreciate you guys being so welcoming as well to my crazy ass. Here's the thing about, like, I coach college students as a speech coach as well, and a few of my college students, like, they'll follow me on social, or I'll mention my husband, and then they'll do some digging and they'll find out, like, oh my gosh, that's Steven that writes for Screen Rant. I'm like obsessed with Screen Rant. One of them, that was like one of the freshmen this year, one of the older kids that I coach, who's known me for a few years now, did an ethnography interview with Steven, and he was like, he's nothing like I expected, knowing you, because he knows me first, right? But yeah, Yeah, we balance each other out.
No,
Steven's
you guys really do. You guys really do, and it's absolutely fantastic. That's the relationship goals right there. Andre, I wanted to ask about your wife when it comes to all of this.
Oh,
how is she handling all this when you hear like the stories from these chuckleheads right here?
She knows that I'm very passionate about it, and she'll watch all the movies with me, and she gives me her point of view on it, which I was actually going to do. I was trying to get her to do a show where we watch Man of Steel and BVS, and she's very she breaks things down. Like, she's kind of a realist, she's like, well, that wouldn't make any sense, or I don't know why they would do that. And like, so it's very interesting. But no, she's very supportive, and she helped me set up this whole studio, and so she's great. I absolutely love my wife. And a funny story about Amanda. So out of everyone that I asked to be a part of this, right, she was the only one that was so excited to be asked to be a part of it that not only did she respond to DM saying, yes, oh my God, yes, like, all excited, but she went ahead and she sent me 2 videos of herself talking to me as opposed to typing it all out. Just like, hey, what's up? I'm so excited. This is so awesome. So at that point, I was like, okay.
Kind of an Amanda thing.
Yeah, I was like,
you'll just get, she doesn't want to type. She'll just want to like record a video.
No.
Yeah. I love it.
At that point, I was like, all right, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome then.
Yeah. No.
I took a couple days off of like social and messaging and stuff. I was just feeling out of it. And I came back and Fabba was like, I missed your stupid voice messages so much.
See? It's so great. I mean, that's what's so great about all this is like everybody has their unique voices into this thing. I mean, when all this shit started, I mean, me and Steven started DMing each other like 3 years ago, like, hey,
isn't that wild?
What's up? Yeah, it was like we would just go back and forth, and then we just talk about information, and then it just kind of grew from there. Then all of a sudden it was like Swenson. I mean, you can go back to like a year and a half ago where Swenson came on my podcast, which was just like it was just full on. This is when he had hair too, by the way.
Yeah, hiding it under no, I'm kidding.
No, because it's funny because the thumbnail has your old thumbnail where you actually have hair on your head. I mean, but it was just like I remember when that happened, and that was when I was just recording audio podcasts, wasn't doing any live streaming, and then I did one with Steven as well. And I remember I posted that when I went to Vegas, whatever the hell that was, and it's just all kind of just parlayed from there. I think how Scott got involved was anytime we started doing a vodka stream, when I started bringing on like Steven and I started bringing on Chris. All of a sudden, like Scott was like, "Hey, I'm here," and I think he like maybe sent a picture of like a bottle you were drinking, and I'm like, you know what? Eventually, I went, why am I not inviting Scott on? I mean, we follow each other. I enjoy his podcast. It's all like, and then one time I was all, "Hey, man, you want to come on?" And then that was it. Rest is history.
That was it. Oh no, I remember the day because I was actually upstairs. I was like getting ready, and you just said, "You want to be on tonight?" And I went,
okay.
The next thing you know, it was like,
yeah. And then the rest was history. It was just like, all right, cool. I mean,
and then I dragged Tim's sorry ass with me one day. Come on, Tim, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Get on camera.
No, but Film Junkee is Cheers. Film Junkee is the Cheers establishment of our fandom. Like that's how I see it, at least. It's the like watering hole where all types gather, including those scallywags like that Scott dude.
I mean, it's a celebration after a long week, so
yeah.
So,
Every Friday night is like hitting the bar with you guys, and it's just awesome.
It's really good. I like workshop ideas, and then like 2 nights later when we, because we used to record on Friday nights, and then we learned to stop that shit.
We're tired. Yeah,
we were too tired. Like there are so many. Like Tim would do, because Tim is an amazing producer. He's a fantastic producer, but I can't tell you how many times he would manipulate our audio to be like, we've got to sound like we're more energetic than we actually are, because that sounded
God. I mean, when I listen to your podcast, I get sickened by how produced it is. I'm like, it's so good. I mean, it's just, you guys are just boom, boom, boom. And I respect the shit out of that, especially when I recorded with you guys and really saw the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you gonna say?
Thank you.
There's like no pauses. Like,
Yeah.
like, well, when we interviewed, I remember a lot of pauses, but it would go like, that's so natural. I wish I could talk like that.
What were you gonna say, Andre? You had something?
Well, no, I remember. I think it was when I finally made the decision to start my own show. I remember Dave had told me at one point. I forgot how it even came up, but he was like, "Yeah." He goes, "If you're ever gonna start, you think you want to start your own show, just know that it's not gonna take off at first.
No.
It's gonna take time." And he's right. But I remember, Dave was always very generous and always very welcoming and then I remember I asked Chris to come on my show. It was like my 3rd episode that I did, and he was like, "Yeah, okay." And I remember I was blown away, and we had to talk about our favorite scenes from Zack Snyder's movies, his DCU movies, and I remember that was one of the one of the best conversations I've ever had. It was a bunch of us were there, and I want to say it was after that stream that I realized that this is where I want to be. This is perfect. This is awesome. So,
and that's another thing about this community is Dave and Chris, you've helped other YouTubers. Tim and I have helped other podcasters. And what I love is the fact that we, like Tim and I have said before, it's like we got into this because we wanted to be that voice that we wanted to listen to but didn't exist.
Right? Yeah.
And then what we kind of helped do is, we're not saying that we started it, but we know that in our little corner, we kind of gave birth to this whole industry of positive voices. Let's talk about the stuff that we love. And we never saw anyone as competition. We were just like, good. Now there's more of us.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely in the
scarcity.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the podcast space that we're residing in. I mean, I will take credit for us because I mean,
okay, great, good, okay. I don't have
because when it comes to the voice representing how we felt about Zack Snyder's films, I mean, there wasn't really anything out there. At least that was had enough attention,
Right.
So yeah,
and I know, you wanted to probably bring up that graph that you had, from the first time. That would have been cool to show Snyder. I mean, I wish I had that. I completely forgot about it. I was like, oh, that would have been cool to show how it took.
Give it to Meg.
Dive. Huh?
Give it to Meg, and she'll take it to their house when she goes to watch BVS at their private theater.
Send it to her. Yeah, I know, but it actually shows how it took a big dive. After Justice League, and then all of a sudden now it's creeping up again because people are very curious. They're I mean, that's why I keep on saying hey, the more voices, the merrier, And one of the things I like to do with the vodka stream is I'll eventually, hopefully, get to more people, and I will just be special guests. I'm always kind of hey, you want to come on? You want to come on? Come on, let's do this. I'm sure I'll run through all the 4 nerds guys eventually. I've already had Anthony, I've already had Nick or Andre on. I'll probably get the other guys, as well. It's
always. Who ever thought that Andre would have enough voices to literally spend an entire day talking about this stuff?
No, I mean, yeah, Andre, you really jumped into this fucking head first. I mean,
yeah,
I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing this for a while, but it was just me. It was just me for the longest time, and then all of a sudden, this community really started building, and then they all started looking up at me, and I'm like, I'm just a drunk asshole. What are you looking at me for? I don't. What the fuck? What? But then it's okay, I get it. I get it.
That's such a Batman thing, Dave. I know.
That's what. I've always said that. Chris is the Superman. He's the optimistic, hopeful one. I'm the cynical fucking asshole. That's what? You don't need me. No. I got dirt on all these motherfuckers.
I just wanted to say, in case you can hear me, Casual Batman, I know you're on the couch somewhere. In case you can hear me, I wanted to let you know that I have some friends that want to talk to you. They want to have some conversations with you. So,
set up a Cameo account.
All right. If that's the case,
Casual Batman has OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Oh man, people have said that before. Ooh, Casual Batman OnlyFans. Can you imagine the horror? The horror. Ugh. Anyways, all right, guys. I think we're gonna go ahead.
All those
and,
proceeds will also go.
Yeah.
AFSP. Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh, so bad, so bad. All right. Well, let's. We got about a minute and a half left, so let's make our way around the horn. Mr. Chris Wong Swenson, go ahead, sir.
Chris Wong Swenson over at the Ping Pong Flix Show, your daily dose of DC content.
There it is. All right, Mr. Andre.
You can follow me at the Nicotina Show on YouTube and also on the Four Nerds Thursdays at 7:30 on YouTube as well. And we jump around to our different channels and also on Twitter at Nicotina_show.
There it is. All right, Amanda.
You can find me at Pie Sugar Pie. You can find my Vero in my bio. And you can find that we have raised $37,850 in Autumn Snyder's Fund.
All right. Tim, you go first because I always leave your partner last.
That's right. So you could find me on Twitter, and you could find our show, DC Film Squadcast, on Twitter as well. And we also have a network of shows, Squadcast Media.
There you go. All right. Bring us home, Scott.
Of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can listen to our show, DC Film Squadcast, wherever your podcast can be found. We're on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, and in the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com.
And say hi to my mom.
You can find me at SM Colbert on Twitter and follow the PBS 5 Minute Podcast
Duck
at
Dynasty.
SnyderMinute.com.
Duck Dynasty.
Get the fuck out!
And Mama Film Junkie, I love you. Merry Christmas.
There you go.
Merry Christmas.
Everybody loves you, Mama. All right, guys. Thank you to everybody in the panel, and of course, Mr. Zack Snyder. Awesome stuff. All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.